Hey guys, this is Jamal with GospelMusicians.com, and I wanted to share this testimony with you guys. This came to my head actually. I believe came to my spirit last night, and just wanted to share it. A lot of times we do not realize how strong and powerful the Lord really is. What I mean by that is we underestimate His ability to engage and interrupt our lives for the betterment of His glory and to bless us. There's a story. I was about in the third grade, and it was a young lady who was new to the school. And you know, kids can be very mean to people coming to the school. It was about the third grade, and she came to the school. She was a bright, young lady. She was not really no reason to be mean to her like we were mean. And every night she used to get chased home. Like, you're talking about real bullying. She used to get in fights almost every single day. People spit in her and do spitballs and stuff like that. And somehow I got caught up in the hoopla in the third grade, and I ended up being mean to her, and I think I fought her or something like that. It was stupid. But people were very mean to her, and I remember that. And so yeah, it was a bad time. I'm ashamed that I even got involved in that. But yeah, it was third grade and being kids, but still, those little things that you do when you're younger can really affect somebody's life. Fast forwarding to way later, after I'm out of college, I graduated from college, I was working on my second job. So I was like 4 or 5 years out of college. And I was living in Cleveland at the time. I'm from Akron, Ohio. So I'm from Akron. Cleveland is about 45 minutes away. Working my job. One day I get up in the morning, and it didn't happen the day I got up in the morning, but as I got older, in my head, I remember saying, I said, man, whatever happened to that girl I teased? I'm so sad that I teased her. I wish I had an opportunity to contact her and see her and tell her I'm very sorry for what I did. Now, this was a passing thought in my head. And some years later, one day, I woke up in the morning and I decided I wasn't going to go to work that day. Just was going to take off. It was a beautiful day. I said, man, I'm not going to go to work today. I decided. So I woke up and said, man, I'm not going to work today. So I called off. Taking off today. I'm taking a vacation today. Okay. So at the time I lived in a duplex. I owned the duplex. I was living at the bottom. I had renters at the top. And so, every now and then, you got to do some work, some maintenance to it. And I said, well, all right, I'm off. What am I going to do? I'm chilling. It's a nice day. I said, let me go to Home Depot and fix some stuff up around the house. Man, I go to Home Depot and riding, just getting out the car. I go to the entrance of Home Depot. Coming out of Home Depot is the girl from third grade that I used to tease. And I stopped her. I said, hey, do you remember me? She's like, kinda. I said, I remember you. I remembered her name. I said, I was in the third grade. I said, remember Airy Island School? I said, remember that school? She's like, yeah. I said, kids were very mean to you at that time. And she's like, yeah. She's like, but we were kids, and I don't hold that against anybody. I said, but I was one of those kids. And I said, I in my head, I asked the Lord to give me an opportunity to say I'm sorry. And I apologized to her. I said, I'm so sorry for what I did as a kid. I was like, we didn't have any reason to be mean to you and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm so sorry. And she just, at first she's like, nah, you were kids. You don't have to apologize. We were kids. But then she just broke down and cried. She was like, she was playing tough at first. Then she broke down and cried. She's like, you don't understand how that affected me. She's like, I wasn't trying to do anybody any harm. And she's like, that affected me so bad. And she's like, the fact that you took the time to apologize. And I tried to apologize for everybody. She's like, she said, the fact that you took the time to apologize, she's like, a big weight has been released off of me. she's probably 30 at this time, like maybe 28, 29. And God allowed me that opportunity, that little fleeting thought in my head. Now you have to look at the timing of this. Look at the crazy coincidence of it. I wake up that day and say, now, first of all, she's from Akron too. So the fact that she was in Cleveland, 45 minutes away, the fact that I happened to wake up that day and say, I'm not going to work, and I just happened to say, I'm going to go to Home Depot at that, and I'm happen to leave at that same time, and the timing of that happened to be that I just happened to move from Akron to move to Cleveland on that day to say that I'm going to miss work, that I'm going to go to Home Depot at that exact time, the exact time, so that I walked that exact time at the same time that she walked out the door. Like, I still could have been in Home Depot and we would have been in Home Depot at the same time, and I still couldn't have seen her. The fact that the minute I'm walking in, she walks out the exact same time. Come on. And what I'm saying is that God is a master at events and of timing, but he's not one to brag about and coerce you into believing in him because of these timings. He sits back and he just is God, and he's looking for people to recognize him. And what I'm saying to you, musicians, and anybody who's out there, is that the timing of God is greater than whatever you're going through right now. Like, say you lost your job, right? Say you lost your job, you're looking for a job. Yeah, you've been searching, to find a job. God is already working on your behalf in the medium grounds to do something for you. You see what I'm saying? Because look at my situation. Like, look at that crazy situation of me going through all of the stuff that I went through. And I'm changing this time a little bit. To like, his timing is so perfect. And sometimes when if you look back and rehearse the times that you went through a lot, the times that you were struggling with different things, if you look back and rehearse God's timing, you'll realize that God's timing is downright perfect. So whatever you're going through right now, don't be dismayed. Don't go through that, because he's working something out. Like, you remember Daniel. Like, Daniel was praying for the king that he would get the dream, not only interpret the dream, but he had to have the dream that he had to know what the dream was. And if you read the script, see, a lot of people preach this wrong. A lot of people say the moment you began to pray, it says the moment you began to pray, the angel was sent, or the answer was sent. That's not true scripture. If you read the scripture, the Bible says the minute that you set your heart to seeking me is when the answer was sent. So what that means is that the minute you said in your head, man, I need a new job, the minute you said in your head, I'm going through something, the answer is already sent. Not the minute you began to pray, the minute you just think it. I never prayed that I would get a chance to meet this girl. I just thought it one time in my head, and God came for the answer. That's how much he cares about you. That's how specific he is. When Jesus said he knows the hairs on your head that are numbered, as T.D. Jakes says, he doesn't know, he doesn't know necessarily how, he knows the number of your hairs, but he knows each hair individually. That's different. So the details and the care that God has for your personal care in your life, for your personal will, is greater than what you think. Just because he's behind the scenes working, hold on, because the answer is going to come. And then Daniel's, we found out later that the angel Gabriel was held up by the Prince of Persia, and then Michael had to come. Like, the answers were being worked out. Never stop believing and never stop trusting when the answers are being worked out. How many times did I feel like quitting learning how to play the keyboard because I didn't feel like I wasn't getting anywhere. How many times did I feel like just shutting it off because, oh my gosh, people are laughing at me because I can't play these songs, or other musicians are dogging me. Oh man, I'm the laughing stock of the gospel musician world in Akron, Ohio, because they say Jamal is sorry. What if I would have stopped, man? If I would have stopped, there wouldn't have been a gospel musicians. There may have been another site, but it wouldn't have been a gospel musicians. Like, you understand that your ability to persevere through trials may be affecting thousands of people's lives. If I had stopped and said, man, forget this keyboard stuff, this is too hard, nobody's willing to teach me, nobody's showing me anything, man, I'm just gonna move on with my life. Can you imagine the souls, or the would-be souls, that would have been blessed humbly? And I'm saying that in a humble aspect. You see what I mean? Like, your decisions to quit and to not wait for God to work things out. I used to ask God all the time, I'm like, Lord, why don't you work this out? How come you're not fast enough? And he gave me I think a mature revelation that I'm able to handle at this age, but I wasn't willing. I probably wouldn't have been able to handle it if I was younger. Okay. The Bible said, Jesus said this himself. He said, Satan is the god of this world. Okay. He says Satan is the god of this world. All right. But God can intervene through this world through his children who make God the God of their lives. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So the Bible talks about that the government is upon Jesus' shoulders. The government isn't upon his shoulders yet. There's going to become a time when Jesus comes back, and then the government will be upon his shoulders, and then he will rule and reign for 1,000 years, blah, blah, blah. We know that, okay? So what I'm saying is that God is playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. He's maneuvering pieces because he has to deal with the aspect of Satan being ruler of this world. So he has to do things strategically and in their place and in their timing to get you to your destiny. That's how smart, that's how intelligent, that's how wisdom is. He's not just wise, he is wisdom. So when you want God to move in a certain way, you have to understand that he has to work through the avenues of Satan being the god of this world and maneuver and trick the different circumstances, the timing and the coincidences to get you to your destiny. And the more that you avail yourself. So when people ask that question, why do bad things happen to good people? That's because we as a people gave our authority of this earth over to the enemy, over to Satan. And Satan now is the god of this world. But greater is he that is in us than is he that is in this world. Even though Satan is the god of this world, greater is the Christ in us. Greater is he, which is Christ in us, the hope of glory, that greater is he that is in you, which is Christ, than he that is in the world, meaning the enemy. So Christ in you is greater, that can overcome that. So a lot of people ask that question all the time, you know, well, if God is so powerful, why does he allow this? Why does he allow that? Because he allows us to have choice. The problem is not God's ability to do something. It's our ability to bring in the glory that God has put inside of us into the earth. The issue is not with God. The issue was with us being patient enough to wait for his promises to come. And I ain't talking about financial. I'm not talking about, you know, I'm talking about things like that. Things where you wish you could go back and apologize to somebody. So for all you gospel musicians struggling with where you're at the time, there's a timing that is perfect for you. A lot of people saw that video where is there an organist in the house?
Realize we are living in the final stages of human history. Am I talking to anybody? I need an organist. Just pray for one. Thank you. Your name? Jamal. Bless you. How long you been playing? 15 years. Look at somebody, say tomorrow, about this time. Where do you live?
And I want to explain that video for you. And a lot of you don't understand that morning I had stopped playing for churches. I had just moved to Orlando. I was done playing with churches. I wanted to start my business and do something different. And I woke up that morning and God said in my spirit, you're going to go to church and something's going to happen. It was a knowing that has only happened to me maybe 3 or 4 times ever in life. So it's not like it happens every single day. And there was a knowing in my belly that something was going to happen. I knew it. So I said, okay, well, what church should I go to? And I was like, there's a church right down the street. Oh, yeah, I'll go to that church. The whole time I went to the church, the usher in the back said, we were talking about you because we thought something was wrong with you because you were sitting on the edge of your seat the whole service. I was sitting on the edge of my seat the whole service because I had a knowing that something was going to happen. So when he said, I need an organist, I knew it was going to happen because it was already prepped that day. The Lord had already spoken to me that you should go to church today because I'm going to do something. And the exact words to me was, something's going to happen. So I sat on the edge of my seat, was like, something's going to happen. So when I went up with boldness because I was pre-prepped that day that something was going to happen. You understand that? So what I'm telling you guys is the timing of the Lord. The timing of the Lord is impeccable, and he knows how to work through the trials and the tribulations and the evil in this life to maneuver the chess pieces to get you where you want to go. All right? Hope that helped you.